On March 18, 2025, the US government dumped into the public domain 80,000 pages of long classified documents related to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The files, hailed by officials as a historic act of transparency, contain intelligence reports, agency memos, and surveillance records from the 1960s, many of them detailing Lee Harvey Oswald's ties to Soviet agents, Cuban operatives, and the shadowy figures who lurked on the fringes of the Cold War. Headlines are already buzzing. Oswald's visit to the Soviet embassy in Mexico City. His alleged meeting with a KGB assassin. New records showing how the CIA and FBI scrambled to control conspiracy narratives in the days after November 22, 1963. But here's the real story. This isn't about transparency. This isn't about solving a murder that happened more than 60 years ago. This is an engineered event, an expertly timed misdirection designed to hijack the news cycle, keep the public looking backward, and distract from the power plays happening right now. Because while everyone is busy digging through historical breadcrumbs, trying to piece together the ultimate whodunit, today's intelligence agencies are consolidating their control, surveillance powers are expanding, and executive authority is being reshaped in real time. The JFK file release isn't just another chapter in a decades-old mystery. It's a self-sustaining distraction machine, one that keeps truth-seekers locked in a loop of obsession, debate, and false discovery, ensuring that the real power struggles remain hidden in plain sight. This isn't just about what's in these documents, it's about why we're being shown them now. So before you get lost in the maze, ask yourself, what aren't they telling you? The release of the JFK files isn't just another declassification, it's a masterclass in misdirection. It creates the illusion of transparency while ensuring that the public remains trapped in an endless cycle of speculation, debate, and forensic obsession with the past. This isn't simply about withholding information, it's about engineering a distraction so powerful that it keeps feeding itself, drawing more attention the longer it exists. At its core, this is a closed-loop system, a misdirection machine running on 4 interconnected levels. It doesn't just deceive, it keeps people actively engaged in deceiving themselves. The trick begins with sheer volume. 80,000 pages of documents are released in one massive dump. Far too much for any one person to analyze, yet just enough for journalists, researchers, and amateur sleuths to latch onto digestible fragments. It's a magician's sleight of hand on an institutional scale. Don't hide the truth, just bury it under so much redundant and irrelevant information that no one can find it. By flooding the discourse with endless details, the government achieves something counterintuitive, an illusion of openness. If the files are public, people assume the truth must be buried somewhere inside. This keeps them busy, combing through minutiae, debating which pieces are important, and wasting months on historical footnotes rather than questioning the larger manipulation at play. The result? A perpetual cycle where each discovery only leads to more questions, never conclusions. People believe they are making progress, when in reality, they are just spiraling through an endless maze designed to keep them running in circles. And while they're busy searching for hidden truths in the past, they miss the very real and present shifts in power happening right in front of them. To sustain the deception, the system doesn't just rely on overwhelming the senses, it manipulates the mind. The slow, strategic release of JFK files gives just enough new information to make truth seekers believe they are on the verge of a breakthrough. It's the ultimate treadmill. Every new revelation sparks fresh speculation, creating the illusion that history is still unraveling when, in reality, these tales are long dead. This works because of cognitive overload. The sheer complexity of the information ensures that most people don't analyze the documents themselves. Instead, they rely on official summaries or curated media coverage. Those sources, of course, have already framed the narrative in predetermined directions, emphasizing certain details like Oswald's Soviet connections or mafia ties, while subtly dismissing others. The final trick? The slow drip of declassification trains the public to believe that if nothing major has emerged by now, then there must not be anything there at all, not just for the JFK case, but for conspiracies. By extending the mystery over decades, the process itself becomes a psychological weapon, sapping momentum, exhausting researchers, and ultimately leading people to accept official accounts by default. And while people are trapped in this cycle, convinced they are uncovering history, modern intelligence agencies are expanding their surveillance reach. New executive powers are being consolidated, and government corruption continues unchecked. The most insidious part of this machine isn't just that it keeps people focused on the past. It ensures that even within that historical focus, they remain divided. By releasing information that fuels competing interpretations, the government keeps skeptics, researchers, and theorists locked in endless infighting. One group argues Oswald was a lone gunman. Another insists it was a CIA hit. Others focus on the mafia, Cuban exiles, or rogue elements of the military-industrial complex. The result? A fragmented battlefield where independent investigators waste their energy fighting over theories rather than questioning why this release is happening now. The brilliance of this tactic is that it convinces people they are uncovering corruption when they are actually reinforcing a controlled narrative. By flooding the discourse with Cold War-era paranoia, CIA versus KGB, Cuban exiles, organized crime, the JFK files keep the conversation locked in a historical echo chamber. The past's deep state machinations come alive again, providing a foil and scapegoat for the dismantling of agencies and programs that support social safety nets. Mainstream outlets further weaponize this effect by covering JFK theories as a kind of intellectual curiosity, an unsolvable mystery rather than an example of systemic government deception. Real investigative work into modern intelligence operations, dismissed as conspiracy mongering. Meanwhile, right now, contemporary conspirators within the government are working to institutionalize narrative control, and the structural shifts in government power go unchallenged. The most devastating form of misdirection is not just controlling what people see, but when they see it. The timing of the JFK file release is not random. It coincides with a moment when major government actions, corporate power grabs, and intelligence overhauls are happening in real time. The environment is prepared so that each new revelation can dominate headlines, flood social media, and hijack public discourse. While journalists and independent researchers are busy dissecting Cold War secrets, real power shifts are happening right now, without resistance, without scrutiny. This is the final, most dangerous part of the misdirection cycle. Because the JFK files are an evergreen story, they continue to distract, and new files can be deployed whenever needed. Just like so-called releases of Epstein files. Another release, another news cycle consumed, another round of debates, another distraction from the real fight. And as long as people keep looking for ghosts in 1963, they won't see the monsters of 2025. These 4 levels of misdirection, sensory overload, false discovery, controlled narrative, and strategic timing, don't just deceive. They reinforce each other, creating a system so effective that it keeps running on its own. Every new file release triggers the same cycle. Truth seekers believe they are uncovering something groundbreaking. More declassifications keep them engaged in the past while new power structures are being built in the present. Media outlets frame JFK speculation as an intriguing historical puzzle, reinforcing the illusion that the biggest secrets are behind us, not happening right now. And that is the real trap. The message to anyone who truly cares about exposing corruption, secrecy, and deep state manipulation should be crystal clear. The conspiracy isn't in 1963. It's happening right now. Every minute wasted relitigating JFK is a minute not spent investigating how power is being seized today. Look past the smoke. Ignore the mirrors. Stay focused. Stay tuned.